In this video, we'll be taking a look at 2 college football games happening on October 24, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 4 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 2 college football games after fully watching this video. One thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Georgia Southern versus Old Dominion. The Georgia Southern Eagles head to Norfolk, Virginia to face the Old Dominion Monarchs on Thursday night at SB Ballard Stadium. This matchup carries significant weight in the Sun Belt Conference standings as it pits the first-place Eagles against the second-place Monarchs. Georgia Southern is riding high after securing a 28-14 victory over James Madison last Saturday, marking its 3rd straight win, all within the conference, and cementing its spot atop the standings. Meanwhile, Old Dominion enters the contest following a 24-14 triumph over Texas State, giving them their 2nd consecutive victory. The Monarchs sit just 1 game behind the Eagles in the Sun Belt race, making this a critical battle for both teams. Notably, neither team has listed any players on their injury reports ahead of this important showdown. Georgia Southern aims to continue its hot streak as it travels to Virginia's Tidewater region. The Eagles pulled off a solid 28-14 win against James Madison last week, defying the odds as 10-point underdogs. With a 5-2 overall record, Georgia Southern is just 1 victory away from becoming bowl eligible. The offense has found its rhythm, scoring 24 points or more in each of its last 3 games. From a betting perspective, the Eagles have been reliable, covering the spread in 5 of their 7 contests this season. Offensively, they boast a well-rounded attack, averaging 244.9 passing yards per game and 30 points per game. However, their defense has been inconsistent, particularly against the run. They currently rank 107th in the nation, allowing 175.1 rushing yards per game, though much of that damage came in a high-scoring 56-45 loss to Boise State, fueled by standout performances from Heisman candidate Ashton Jeanty. The Old Dominion Monarchs enter this matchup riding a 2-game win streak, including last week's 24-14 victory over Texas State. However, offensive production has been a concern throughout the season. The Monarchs average just 335 total yards per game, including 159.4 passing yards, and are putting up a modest 23 points per game. Defensively, they've struggled as well, allowing 401.3 total yards per game, which has made it difficult to stay competitive against tougher opponents. Although the Monarchs have picked up some momentum recently, Georgia Southern appears to be the more complete and balanced team at this stage, particularly given the Eagles' recent success against James Madison. A significant factor in this game will be the uncertainty surrounding Old Dominion quarterback Grant Wilson's availability. With the offense already struggling, any disruptions at the quarterback position will further limit the Monarchs' ability to generate points. In addition, Old Dominion's defense has been inconsistent early in the season, raising doubts about its ability to contain Georgia Southern's high-powered offense. On the offensive side, the Eagles have been more efficient recently, averaging 30 points over their last 3 games, while the Monarchs have managed just 22.5 points over their previous 2. This offensive disparity gives Georgia Southern an edge going into this matchup. Both teams are coming off important victories and carry winning streaks they are eager to extend. Old Dominion has shown some promise on defense, holding its last 2 opponents to just 14 points each. Playing at home should also give the Monarchs a slight advantage, but Georgia Southern enters this game with significant momentum, having remained undefeated in conference play. Their double-digit win over James Madison is a confidence booster, and that momentum could make the difference in Thursday's game. While this contest is likely to be competitive and entertaining, Georgia Southern appears to have the upper hand, even on the road. Given the Eagles' recent form, the Georgia Southern Eagles to cover the spread as underdogs is our full-game side pick. In terms of total points, both teams have shown a tendency toward lower-scoring games this season. There is little reason to believe that either backup quarterback, J.C. French or Colton Joseph, can line up the scoreboard if called upon. Both defenses have improved in recent weeks, with Georgia Southern giving up just 19 points per game over its last 3 contests, while Old Dominion has allowed an average of 25 points across its previous 4. As a result, the under has hit in 4 of the 7 games played by each team this season, reflecting the defensive nature of many any of their matchups. The trend toward low-scoring games continued last week for both programs, with the total going under in each of their most recent 2 outings. Although neither defense is considered elite, Old Dominion's ability to hold Texas State to just 14 points was impressive, especially considering that the Bobcats entered that game averaging over 35 points per contest. Old Dominion's run-heavy approach is another factor that could keep the scoring down, as it will help control the clock and limit the number of possessions for both teams. With both teams showing a preference for grinding out victories and keeping games within reach, the smart play here is to bet on the total points to finish under the projected line. This aligns with recent trends for both teams, making under the projected total our full game total pick. Syracuse versus Pittsburgh. The Syracuse Orange will take on the Pittsburgh Panthers this Thursday in a high-stakes showdown at Acrisure Stadium. Both teams come into the game with momentum and have aspirations of contending for the Atlantic Coast Conference title. Syracuse currently holds a 5-1 overall record and will be well-rested after a bye week. In their most recent outing, the Orange pulled off a 24-17 victory over NC State. With a 2-1 mark in Atlantic Coast Conference play, they have positioned themselves well in the conference race. On the other hand, Pittsburgh boasts a perfect 6-0 record and is also coming off a bye week. The Panthers narrowly defeated California 17-15 in their last game on October 12th. So far, they are undefeated in conference action with a 2-0 record. Historically, Pittsburgh has had the upper hand in this rivalry, leading the all-time series 43-32-3, though Syracuse claimed victory last year with a 28-13 win at Yankee Stadium. Both squads enter this game with solid, yet flawed rosters. Pittsburgh's impressive 6-0 start is largely thanks to their freshman quarterback, Elie Hallstein, who has flourished in the team's revamped aerial offense. Meanwhile, Syracuse's 5-1 record might look impressive, but their lone defeat, an unexpected home loss to Stanford, exposes some inconsistency. Syracuse quarterback Kyle McCord has been electric this season, posting video game-like numbers, and with even an average defense, the Orange could have competed with some of the nation's best teams. However, their defensive struggles have kept them from fully realizing their potential. Personally, I remain skeptical about Pitt's undefeated record. The hype around the Panthers, some people are already including them in early playoff bracket predictions, seems a bit premature. Although Pittsburgh is currently unbeaten, their remaining schedule includes challenging opponents such as Syracuse, SMU, Clemson, Louisville, and Boston College. The notion that the Panthers could navigate that stretch unscathed feels unrealistic. Notably, their 2 Atlantic Coast Conference wins came against California and UNC, 2 teams that are sitting at the bottom of the conference standings. While the Panthers' offense has been a bright spot and makes them competitive in every game, their defensive woes are a significant concern. Pittsburgh's pass defense ranks outside the top 100 nationally, which is troubling, especially since most of their recent opponents rely heavily on the run game. With McCord leading Syracuse's high-powered offense, it's hard to see Pitt's secondary holding up. On the flip side, Syracuse's defense has also struggled, leaving them vulnerable to opposing offenses. With the game's total set above 60 points, the expectation is for a high-scoring contest, given that neither team has shown much defensive prowess. While Pittsburgh may be the more well-rounded team, they are laying too many points in this matchup. Hallstein's performance against Cal raised some concerns, revealing vulnerabilities that Syracuse could exploit. I expect McCord to have a field day against Pitt's weak pass defense, and this might turn into one of his signature games of the season. Although Pittsburgh remains the favorite to win, it wouldn't be shocking if Syracuse pulled off the upset. I understand why the Panthers are favored, given McCord's occasional struggles in second halves this season. However, Syracuse's offense has enough firepower to stay competitive throughout, and this game has the makings of a back-and-forth battle that could be decided by whoever has possession last. In the end, I think this matchup will be determined by just a few points, possibly within a field goal's margin. Ultimately, turnovers will likely play a pivotal role in this contest, and given McCord's experience and the Panthers' unreliable secondary, the Orange should have the upper hand. Therefore, the Syracuse Orange to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The total has historically trended toward the under when these 2 programs meet, with the under hitting in 7 of the last 10 games between them, including 4 of the last 5. With both teams coming off bye weeks and fighting to stay relevant in the Atlantic Coast Conference title race, expect a hard-fought and physical game. Pittsburgh's defense stepped up significantly in their last game, applying pressure at the line of scrimmage and limiting Cal to just 15 points. If they can replicate that effort against Syracuse, McCord may face a stiffer challenge than usual, especially on third downs, where the Orange have typically been comfortable. That said, Holstein will likely bounce back from his shaky outing against Cal, as Syracuse's 105th ranked pass defense presents a much easier challenge. However, I don't expect Pitt to ask too much of their freshman quarterback. Instead, the Panthers will likely lean on their ground game and use play action to keep Syracuse's defense off balance. Pitt's recent success on defense will also factor into their game plan, especially after holding California to just 15 points. Syracuse, meanwhile, has struggled to generate offense against stout defenses in recent weeks, as evidenced by their lackluster performances against Clemson and other top-tier units. Pitt's defense poses a similar challenge, and the Orange's offense may continue to sputter. Historically, when these two teams meet, the games tend to stay under the total due to a focus on defense and fewer big plays. 5 of their last 6 meetings have hit the under, and with Pitt's defense peaking and Syracuse's offense trending downward, this game seems unlikely to buck that trend. Given both teams' recent struggles to generate consistent offense, especially against stronger defenses, betting the under on the total point seems like the safer play. The combination of Pitt's improving defense and Syracuse's recent offensive struggles makes it unlikely we'll see a shootout. As such, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.